Welcome to DCL Talk Show. This is your Jagan, and I have three wonderful, great personalities here to analyze games that we concluded in the first week and predictions at the end of the show. The best part of this kickoff of DCL 25 is we have seen scores from as low as 23 to as high as 259, and the best part is some of the new teams, they ended up playing more than what we expected generally historically in DCL. Okay, with that, I will welcome our guests of the night. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jagan, and thanks everybody. And I would like to welcome all our listeners to this edition of the DCL Talk Show. The first week is underway, and it was a wonderful week for all the cricket lovers. And I'm sure that most of us were glad to be back on the field and enjoy this beautiful game. So welcome again to all the listeners.
Welcome, Abhi.
Hey, Jagan. Thank you. Hello, listeners. Welcome to the second episode of DCL 2021. The Silver Jubilee year of DCL has finally kicked off, and it's a very good sight to see cricket back on its feet in Michigan. Kudos to the committee for requesting the teams to follow 3 minutes of silence for the pandemic situation in India. It's, no matter what's happening in US, how excited we are for DCL, it does remind of the seriousness of what things are happening, how things are happening in India. Again, lots to discuss about last week's games and how underdogs went on to beat some good teams in the league, and how happy I am to be on the wrong side of the last week's predictions. So, welcome all.
Welcome to the show, KK.
Thank you, Jagan. Welcome back, listeners. This is week 2 of DCL Radio 2021. And yes, it has kicked off. The DCL has kicked off after 2 years. So it's good to be back on the ground, and I hope a lot of the teams and players are feeling the same.
As Abhi said, I feel very happy whenever, the odds go against our predictions. So there are some games that beat our analysts this week. Okay. Being said that, let's straight away get into last week games. The first game of the night that we are going to discuss is Dark Horses vs Indus Thunders, and the honors goes to Abhi because he plays for Indus Thunders. Abhi, your thoughts?
Thank you, Jagan. This was it was a good game to play with, and the more important, the first thing I wanted to bring up is the ground that we played in. It's a new ground, and I don't think we've played any other DCL games before this game in that ground. So, and then given the fact that it was the first game of the season, analyzing the ground situation was kind of a tricky thing for us. So, Gopu being good at his judgment, he discussed with the team and decided that he wants to bowl first. So that's what he did. He went on to win the toss, and we elected to bowl, which probably was a good decision because the pitch was kind of tricky at the beginning. We didn't know how the pitch is going to behave. The ball was moving, it was keeping low, but the moment the first ball was bowled in the game, the pitch started to actually behave as if it's a properly hard and flat pitch. In Dark Horses, if you've seen this, a lot of people must have seen the scorecard. Rahul Bandari actually stood out. He's the only guy who did, played his part and played for the team. He was the lone guy who was fighting against the whole of Indus Thunders. His innings of 41 or 55 was just amazing to watch. There are some really good shots played against really good bowling, and picking up few good length ball sixes over the long on, long off was really a treat to watch. I mean, given the fact that we play with too much grass on the grounds and the ball doesn't travel much in the previous seasons, seeing the shots going for the long on, long off was really good sight from a batsman perspective. Dark Horses again on the downside was they never got going with good partnerships. There was initially some good partnerships there given out by the Dark Horses, though their first wicket was lost immediately soon enough. But then again, Rahul was the only lone fighter who was trying to stick on to one end, but there were too many wickets that were falling for the dark horses on the other side. Too many runouts as well, and probably the communication was not at the greatest for the dark horses, which actually costed them a lot because they did have a good run rate going on against the Indus, and Gopu was trying to figure out what to do against on how to get those get that run rate stop. We were getting wickets in between, but we were not able to control the runs because Rahul was again scoring. He just gets the odd boundary here and there, and then the run rate creeps up again. But again, being a good had his judgment, he went on to bring Raj Sehgal and then Sandeep Chetla, who they actually did pick up pretty well. So they came in. Sandeep being a genuine left-arm bowler, he tried cutting down the runs for us, and Raj went on to get some critical wickets of Pankaj and a few other players. But given coming to the Indus bowling, we were actually honored to play with Praveen Bangira on our side. This is the first time I'm playing along with him. Probably I might have played along with him with MDCL back in a couple of years back, or 4 or 5 years back. But this was where I actually happened to talk to him so closely from a game perspective. If you see, the run rate has been a slightly higher side. Chetan, myself, and Praveen going over a 4 probably in DCL is slightly much higher. But again, Praveen Bangera's was the reason the run rate being a bit high was because of those 2 sixes that Rahul hit off Praveen. But again, Praveen being a quality bowler, if you see that you take those 12 runs off his off his 5 over spell, he just conceded 18 runs off his 4 overs, so which probably 8 runs off his 4 overs, which is still an amazing effort of his probably 4.4 overs. So bowling was good. We did consider a lot of extras. 11 is a bit is actually a lot of high for the quality bowling side like Indus. But again, getting them all out to 18, 22 overs was something that worked out for us. We were pretty tight in the field, but dark horses lost too many wickets, and that's where they probably didn't get enough runs on the board. Coming back to Indus Thunder's batting, before going into the batting, Gopu again was trying to tell us, since it's the first game, he was concerned that we might go on the back foot, given the circumstances that the pitch was always kind of a thing, because there were a couple of odd balls that went flat on the ground. So he was asking us to be on a bit defensive mode, but Verma literally had another plans. Verma being Verma, he never listens to any of the captains. He just went, get going from the first ball itself. And Yashwant supported him very well. They had an amazing 70-run partnership. It was really a treat to watch. For the initial 20 runs, we thought, okay, dark horses were in the game. They're bowling some good lines, and Yashwant was actually respecting the balls, respecting the bowler, and then one odd ball, he just puts it out of the park. And that's where the dark horses were actually going on the back foot. Given the fact that they at least missed 20-25 runs on the board, and they started conceding too many runs in the initial overs, they were taken on the back foot, and Yashwant and Verma just pounced on them, and then went on to score 70 runs. They should have actually scored all the 80 runs, having without losing their wickets, but Verma being Verma, he's not going to leave any loose ball to hit it. So he didn't want to rotate it. He just went for the hit, and unfortunately for him, it got mistimed and he got out. Praveen struggled a bit initially. He wanted to finish the game early, but he was not able to connect the ball, probably because he was excited that he was back on the ground playing cricket. But eventually he went out to get out, and Gopu went and took the credit just like MSD does. No offense to MSD fans there, scoring the winning runs and then coming up with a head held high back into the dugout. But dark horses bowling, again, they were on the back foot initially because Verma and Yashwant kept going from the first ball. They considered a lot many runs. That's why you see their economy rate has gone high, and they tried a lot of things. They tried bowling different lines, and they ended up bowling a bit too many wides, too many extras for us, which probably is again made it a bit easy for Indus. But nothing, we got to give credit to the way Rahul batted. 40 scoring 41 was was a treat to watch actually from the ground. And it's too sad that none of the Dark Horses team members were able to support him. And good luck to them. And I'm sure they're going to come back. They're going to come back pretty strong in the next game, and they will have a plan. They just have to find that rhythm, and then I'm sure they're going to put some heavy scores on the board. Over to you, Jagan.
Okay. And then the next game of the night is Patriot versus UCA. Sorry. It's completely dominated by Patriots. Your thoughts on this game, MT?
Yes, Jagan. So again, like you mentioned in the introduction, this game was a one-sided game, and the scorecard that talks for itself. So this game was in Ann Arbor. Luckily, we were playing in the next round when this game was happening. An afternoon game. Again, credit to both the teams playing in that hot sun for the full 50 overs. So that being said, I think Patriots, who were put into bat by UCA, surprisingly, UCA being a new team and winning the toss and putting the opponent to bat, that was a surprising thing that we noticed. And then I think they immediately bit their tongue for that decision because, I think right from the word go, I think Patriots were on the offense. And if you see the scorecard, I think Naresh just had a wonderful game, wonderful outing here, scoring 81 runs with 10 sixers and 1 4, facing 67 balls. So if you look at that score, he scored 64 runs of those 81 in 11 deliveries, and then he ended up facing 67 deliveries. So that tells me two things here. Probably Naresh can switch gears very easily, or he's a very patient player and just waits for the loose deliveries. So that's kind of player that actually teams would like to have in their arsenal in DCL, because you like to have long inning players and also somebody who can just switch gears and then score runs at will. So that is a good start for Naresh in the season and also Patriots team. And then he was well supported by Sai, captain. He stayed there for a bit, and then Rajshekhar. I think that was a partnership, that 60 odd runs for the fourth wicket that kept the score going. So they ended up at 153, facing the full 25 overs. And if you look at the bowling of UCA, again, new team, I think they still need some gelling there, and that will eventually show up in the future games. But this being the first game, I think the full A game did not come out for UCA. The best figures being from Srinivas, their opening bowler, who bowled 5 overs, 19 runs and 1 wicket. I think the wickets being shared among all the bowlers, but I think the pick of the bowlers will definitely be Srinivas because of his economy. All other bowlers being taken out for cleaners, at least 7 runs, 7.5 economy. So once you have 150 for chasing first game, new team, chasing 153, definitely not an easy task, especially with how Patriots bowling lineup looks. And I think they never got a start chasing that score. They lost wickets, looks like at regular intervals, and then a couple of single-digit scores in the top 4, top 5 batsmen. Then that really doesn't paint a good picture for them. But again, kudos to the team, I would say, because they ended up playing the full 25 overs, hung in there, tried to make something out of the game, and they ended up scoring 71 runs, albeit again 15 extras from Patriots. But I still think this is a good start, even though they lost the game. I think playing full 25 overs, chasing a big score, trying to figure out your batting combination and stuff like that, I think this will work good for UCA in the future games. If you look at Patriots bowling, I think pick of the bowlers, Madhu picking 3 wickets in 4 overs for 8 runs. That's like brilliant figures, I would say, for a season opener. And then well supported by his teammates Balaji and Rajshekhar, who picked up 2 wickets each. Kondal, the seasoned player for them, he also chipped in with 2 wickets. So overall, I think this was a very good outing for Patriots. First game of the season, coming out blazing guns in the batting side, and then also bowling well supported by their bowling unit. This is only speaking volumes about the team, and the teams need to watch out for Patriots in that pool, I would say. That being said, again, UCA, like I mentioned, again, this was the first game probably playing together for the first time. Patriots, on the other hand, it's a new team technically, but they have been playing together for a long time, so that kind of showed in the game. So I think UCA has good chances. They might They might create some upsets, I feel, but again, we'll wait and watch. So.
Okay, the next game of the night is Safaris versus Thunderbolts. KK,
Yes,
there's a,
Jagan.
I
I think
gave
this
the game to you.
I think this game will be, the fastest analyzed game this week because I've been searching with a magnifying glass to what to talk about on this game. Because looking at the Safaris lineup and the scorecard, I see uh, 5 zeros and 3 1s. Actually, it's 6 zeros and 3 1s, and the total score is 23. They got bundled out in 10 overs. Special mention to the Thunderbolts bowler Deepak Bhaskaran. Played him, I think, on one or two occasions, and he's a good bowler. And his stats also read well here. 3 overs, 2 for 4. He bowled really well. And Safaris, I think they really have to do a retrospection of what needs to be done because season after season, same performances being repeated. Uh, I think with these kind of performances, what would happen down the line is probably halfway into the season they'll struggle to put 11 on the field, right? So it's not far. It's just one game done. I think they should put their head up and say, okay, we can play better. Maybe they have not really played a professional level of cricket, right? But obviously the passion would be there. That is the reason they put the team. So they have to go back, and think about why they put the team, and they want to perform, right? And their practice sessions or the captain giving motivation to the players might help them, because that's the only thing I can talk about their team. I don't want to demotivate them because everyone is here to play, and I hope they play better in the next games. And coming to Thunderbolts, batting, none of them scored into double digits, but they stayed on the crease. It's a smaller target, 24 runs. They got it in again 10 overs. Good thing with Safaris is that the top two bowlers bowled all the 5 overs, at least, to have some confidence going into the next games. All in all, I think this was the fastest completed game last week.
Okay, with that, we'll get into the next three of the games. The next one, see, actually, before starting the show, I thought of asking everybody about your favorite game of the weekend. I will do that one right after at the break. At the break, in the sense after completion of 6 games. So right now, we'll be talking about Dynamites versus FCC. Abhi.
Yeah, again, Jagan, Dynamites this time they won the toss and probably just one of the few teams who were elected to bat first. I mean, at least from the games I know. Given the fact that the DCL has always been a bowling game, a lot of P teams prefer to see how the pitch is behaving, and now also the fact that the games are being played after 2 years, and they just want to be on the back foot and see if the ball's doing something, or the pitch is doing something, finish up the overs before the heat starts. So having said that, coming to the way the FCC has bowled, Venkat Vatnala was leading. I wanted to start off with the bowling because I really like the way the extras are shown here, because that's one thing that I always keep looking in the scorecard. Just 3 extras in the 25 overs bowled is an amazing effort on the FCC, no matter whether they lost the game or they won the game. Venkat Vatnala leading there with 4, 7, 3. It's an amazing figures to watch. 4 overs, 7 runs and 3 wickets. I wonder why he didn't bowl his 5th over. But again, it's an amazing effort to see on Venkat Vatnala's side, giving just 1 run or 1.7 runs per economy, and that was given up by well supported by Mukul and then Srikanth from FCC as well. So Tejas went probably a bit too much for the quality of bowling that he does, but 3 wickets from his side was also is an amazing effort from his side. Coming to the batting of Dynamites, they probably started a bit slow because their opener Satish ended up scoring 5 of 24 balls, and then Amrit Yadav another 27 balls, but 13 runs is quite an important 13 runs that he must have scored there. So the way Dynamites must have started was probably a bit slow, and then they got going between their top middle order, where they scored 13 and 15 and 5, and then probably they got some runs there, but probably their lower middle and then the lower order probably totally collapsed, because if you see they haven't faced technically they haven't faced any balls there much. They're literally about 5-6 overs there, and then probably they just collapsed everything there. They just picking up the last 3 wickets. It seems that he just went blazing at the end of his spell. There again, like I said, there's not many partnerships there probably, and the second half of their Dynamite innings, which probably didn't have enough runs on the board. They must have thought they didn't have enough runs on the board when they went onto the board, because FCC, we all know that with a combination of Farmington Cricket Club and also the Falcons, they're pretty well experienced in games like this. Falcons gets the experience, and FCC has those crucial hitters, pinch hitters, and technically good batsmen that they can, finish the game up. But having said that, I'm pretty shocked to see that the FCC they just managed to score 50 runs and then probably they got out. Again, like I said, I just feel that they started off on the back foot. They probably just they just had too many dot balls. Their first wicket falling on the second ball of the match probably again took them on the back foot. They ended up going back, and then if you see that the 8th run, there's a second and third wicket falls from Karthik, and Tejas is again sent on to the dugout. That's where probably the Dynamites must have started sensing the victory there, because their important wickets are going, their important batsmen are going back, and also they actually pushed the FCC on the back foot here. But having said that, the FCC still had Sainath, Harisha, and then Nikhil and Pana were always there and Venkat was always there to actually come and score. But again, having lost too many wickets, probably must have thought, the FCC must have thought it's better to, take the game deep and then score, because the score wasn't much. But the wickets were the key for the Dynamites to win. But Harish and probably Pana, among them, they played 11 overs among them, and they just managed to score 17 runs. Is probably what FCC must have to think about, because although it's good that you're holding the wicket, but if you're not getting runs, you're still the bowling team is still actually collecting those dots, and they'll be happy to collect those dots, and then let the run rate pressure mount on the batting side. Sainath scored some quick runs there. 13. He's one person who's going to steal those quick singles. We've known him for years and how he plays. But I think losing his wicket probably must have actually asked or sent Pana in the back foot, and he ended up playing a lot more dot balls. Having said that, again, good decent bowling by the Dynamite team. Again, 6 extras is an amazing bowling attack, was an amazing bowling effort from the Dynamite team. Arun leading there with the run rate, and then Rajkumar getting the 3 crucial wickets. So 5 wickets among them is actually good. And Prakash again getting 4 wickets at the end is, it's something that this says that they built up the pressure that FCC needed, and then the bottom bowlers, and then the bowlers coming in the second spell just cleaned up the FCC batsmen. So having said that, it's a good game for Dynamites. It's an amazing start for them. It's good that they started this, but I really hope that they continue to do this more often, and then they end up qualifying for the playoffs. So probably Vijay has to put in a lot more thoughts on how to break big teams, break good teams there. Not that the Dynamites is a bad team or is a low team, but it means to say that when you actually beat a good quality team like FCC, you will have to go with a higher confidence into the game. FCC again, this is something that we predicted last week. We thought that they might not be able to find that rhythm, given that it's two big teams merging with each other. Probably that is what has happened. But again, I'm sure there are big brains sitting in the FCC team. They're going to come together and come back stronger in the league. Over to you, Jagan.
The next game of the night is Blasters versus FCC Agni. Imti, we already took 25 minutes to cover 4 games, so let's go a little faster. Okay, thank you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
So again, in interest of time, I will try to go through the games very fast. So again, coming to this game,
your game, I put it. I said it like that. Okay,
No,
sorry.
no, that's fine. That's fine. No, I was anyways going to be short, keep it short, because again, this was again a one-sided game, I would say, to be honest. FCC Agni won the toss and they elected to bat, and thanks to Mohan in their lineup, that they were able to put a respectable score, I would say. So the batting never really got going, and Mohan, they really did not get any support from any of the batsmen in the team. And thanks to him that he held on to his wicket in the first half, and then just went blazing guns in the second half of the innings. And he hit like three big sixes and also four to get to that 45. So if you take out that 45 and the 10 extras that Blasters bowled, I think the rest of the team scored 18 runs, which really speaks about their performance, to be honest. So again, FCC Agni, it's a good team. They just need to settle down and come back stronger in the next game in the batting department, I would say. So on the bowling front, Blasters had a good outing. Anvesh was the pick of the bowlers, picking 4 wickets in his 5 overs for 9 runs, and then well supported by Jagan and Akshat and Mahesh. So the other bowlers sharing the wickets, but I think pick of the bowlers was Anvesh definitely with 4 wickets. Chasing 73, again, it was a easy chase, I would say, comparatively. Again, it was a hot afternoon. The weather got to the players, I would say, and I think once the wickets did not fall in the initial overs, I think FCC Agni kind of dropped the shoulders. A very good opening partnership by Mahesh and Prashant put up 20 odd runs in quick succession, and the chase was on like almost a run a ball, and eventually ended up in the 12th over before the break. So all in all, it was a good game, good start for Blasters. But then again, Agni, I think, need to pull up their socks and come back stronger in the next game.
Okay, the next game of the night is KRCC versus Spartans Kk.
I mean, this game, I think we all predicted it right. We were expecting, most of the analysts were expecting KRCC to win, and KRCC ended up winning this game. But going into the details of this game, I think Spartans, former Blues team, did not have a great start, especially their openers losing the first wicket at the score of 0, and then their one-on batsman also going out back for 0 runs. But Satish Chodipalli scored about 17 runs, and he tried to steady the ship with the help of Nadim Khan. And there were a flurry of wickets which they lost in between, and at one stage they were 8 for 45. But Mohan Kottapalli, he's a good player. He's a good bowler, and he plays decent batting. I see he hit 2 sixes there, and they ended up scoring 70 runs. And with 70 runs against a batting lineup like KRCC, it's always going to be difficult to to restrict the opposition to 70 runs, right? So, but KRCC started well, their opener scoring about 28 runs. That's the difference, right? For Spartans, they lost 2 quick wickets when the score was like 2 runs, whereas KRCC being an experienced team, they were 2 down at 39 runs in 8 overs. They're halfway through the game, halfway through the runs in about 8 overs, and with only 30 to get in about next 17 odd overs, it was a cakewalk for them. Although they lost 3 quick wickets there, Sahesh Vasan, Mihar Vaidya, and Maulik Patel going back. But then their captain Yogesh Mittal along with Satish Gaba, again, they both are experienced DCL players and T-ball cricketers, right? They completed the game without much fuss there, and it was a comfortable 5 points in the KRCC bag.
Okay, so that's 6. We have completed 6 games. Okay, so I just quickly I want to ask you guys to pick choice of your game. Okay, which you think was the best game of the week 1. So I'll start with Imti. Which one you think is the best game?
Yeah, I think for me, definitely it was Dynamites versus FCC, because that was the most closely contested game in the entire week. On the first round of games, Canton 11 Gladiators was.
No. You cannot say 2 or 3. Only one.
No, I'm not saying 2 or 3. I'm just saying that was another game that I was really looking out for because of the scoring, and then I was following the game. But then I think Dynamites versus FCC was a close contest, and it was a close call, I would say. But Dynamites held on to the game, and they got a good win, I would say. So yeah, Dynamites versus
your
FCC.
choice is Dynamites. Dynamites versus FCC was the best game last week.
Yes.
Okay. So, Abhi.
I think it should be the Canton Leviners versus Gladiators for me, because although Gladiators put in the 133 runs on board, Canton Leviners actually responded pretty well until the 14th over. If you actually compare their scores, they were 67 for 3, chasing the 130 odd runs, and whereas probably Gladiators was also around the same thing. Probably the Suyog's 2 overs, where he considered only 3 runs and took 3 wickets in 2 overs, was a game changer. Would have been a different game if the Canton Leviners actually continued to score at that rate, but I think this would have been a very close contest.
Okay, KK.
For me, more than how close the game was, it was the biggest upset of the first week, right? The team Brownstone, who was the runners-up in the 24th year of DCL, were knocked out by, I would not say knocked out, but but handed a comfortable defeat by Detroit Bulls this first week. So, I would pick that game as the most surprising result for the week.
See, I was looking at all these results. There was a debate between, for me, Dynamite versus FCC versus Brownstone versus Bulls. Okay, see, I'll categorize as the best game as Dynamite versus FCC, and the shocker is Brownstone versus Bulls. I mean, sorry Bulls, but that's what I felt. Okay, with that I'll get into the next game, Brownstone versus Detroit Bulls. Abhi.
Yeah. So this game again this was again conducted in this new ground, the Southeast Area Park in Ann Arbor. Brownstone, they went on to bat after winning the toss, but again, if you see, they've ended up losing too many quick wickets. Although they had some small little cameo until 3 overs, but they ended up losing. Having their playing the Afsar Mujahid after playing 14 balls, scoring 0, probably again taking that mindset of batting slow, batting deep, getting runs later on is probably what was the plan for the Brownstone. But I believe that they started a bit too slow and they lost too many wickets in regular intervals. The middle order that did step up well. Kamran Ali scoring 18 of 30, commendable effort there. But again, he probably didn't have much support except for Yasir Imran scoring another 10 runs of 23 balls. But apart from that, if you see, there's not many runs that were coming through the scorecard of Brownstone. But Detroit Bulls probably just gifted another 15 runs to Brownstone, taking their score to 58. For the quality team like Brownstone, I wouldn't say this was supposed to be enough, but Brownstone always had a quality bowling attack and this must have actually been enough. But given the fact that they didn't have their few of the main players playing in their Talal and a few other players like excuse me. Yeah, a few other players like Talal, Ansab, and Adnan and Mansab are not part of the team. And one of the teammates of one of my friend was playing actually in Detroit Bulls. I tried to get some details from him, and he just mentioned that it just became a bit slow for them. Pitch was also slightly uneven, so the ball wasn't coming onto the bat, and it became a bit late. It became a bit better for the team batting second, and probably like I mentioned, I did mention about the pitch becoming a bit too flat again after the first innings in the SAP, the same ground that I was talking about, that Indus played. So that's probably the reason why Brownstone ended up scoring a bit too low. But coming to the bowling attack of the Detroit Bulls, like I said, they did consider too many extras. But again, a good actually opening partnership in their bowling by Jagdishwar and Mahesh, all sharing another 5 wickets among them. Although they did consider a bit too many runs by Mahesh. 2.28 is definitely good, but 3-4 extras there probably it's something that you have to look after when you're a main bowler for your team. Gino James, always a good bowler, always a good all-rounder batsman. He's been playing this league for quite some time now, and picking up another 3 wickets is really good to see him performing there. And then Tanuj probably pitched in another wicket there, and they just ended up getting all the wickets there. Coming to the Detroit Bulls batting, like my friend said from the Detroit Bulls, he did say that the Detroit Bulls Barrett started up the innings by scoring the 6 of the first ball of the innings, probably of Hyderabad's bowling. So that probably took Brownstone on the back foot, and Detroit Bulls just pounced on them. And then the first big wicket partnership again, the third wicket partnership of the 40 odd runs is probably what took the Brownstones back. They didn't get enough wickets. They didn't get good wickets, and they ended up giving too many runs. They ended up leaking too many runs, which probably, and with a low score of 58 runs on board, Brownstones were actually never in the game to defend this. Detroit Bulls, amazing effort by them having to play. I think probably this is one of the new teams that they're playing, and they're facing one of the best teams against the league, and getting that win is a very crucial thing for them to go forward and go deep in the league. Coming to the Brownstones bowling attack, sorry, I probably was about to skip that. Hyder Ali again, they didn't have many wickets there. The Detroit Bulls just lost 3 wickets. Hyder, Afzal, and Ofer getting only one wicket each. But again, too many extras for a quality bowling attack like Brownstone. 9 runs is actually okay, but again, when you are actually defending a very low score like 58-9 is still a big runs to actually leak out. Over to you, Jagan.
Okay, the next game of the night is Legends versus Hitmen. KK. As expected, Legends won this match. KK, your thoughts?
Yes, all the Legends won this game. I want to give a special mention to the Hitman players because it is their first game in the DCL as a team, and I would probably call Hitman as the youngest team in DCL, with only probably 1 or 2 players above the 30 mark. Most of them are in their 20s. They are very athletic, taking all the catches, have good spirits. First of all, it's very heartening to see a team like that play so well, despite the result. And on this day, Legends won the toss, elected to bat, and although we lost 2 quick wickets, I would say, Rushendra and Sai Pratap steadied the ship. And I personally am watching Sai Pratap bat after 5 years. I watched him play live after 5 years, and man, what fantastic shots did he play! There are no boundaries scored, but his strike rotation and the offside shots were very good, and he hits the ball hard as well. And once Rushendra departed, Gautam was on the field, and he played through the innings. He's the one who held one side together, and even though we lost a few quick wickets in the form of Teja and Shrikant, Murali and Gautam took the score from 65 for 6 in about 17 overs to 100 for 6 in 23 overs. So that 6 overs where they scored 35 runs was a crucial phase of the game, and I'm glad that we got to a total of 109. And with the type of bowlers which Legends had, we were able to contain the game. But Arun, their captain, Arun Shankar, he played well. I think he played a few too many shots. If not for that, and probably they had a bit of more chance in this game. And Srijit and Chetan, although they tried to stitch a partnership, I think there was too many runs to score there. And the pick of the player for Hitman would be Chetan. He picked up 4, scored about 11 runs. And we have another encounter coming up this week, so I'm excited and looking forward to that.
Okay. The next game of the night is AR Phantoms versus GLCC. Before I come to Imti, last year means season before, GLCC ended with a hat-trick. Season ended with a hat-trick, and this season they started with a hat-trick, giving up hat-trick. And regardless of outcome of this match, I like the way AR Phantoms batted against a good bowling side. Your thoughts?
Yes, Jigan, I think you kind of mentioned 2 of the points that I was about to tell. But again, I thought you gave me this game because of my prediction last week when I said if GLCC bats first in this game, we can expect a very big score. So that being said, I think GLCC did that exact thing. They batted first and put on a huge score, 253 runs. Again, that just gives an indication of how strong this GLCC batting unit is. Like I was just going through the scorecard and I can see like proper batsmen almost down to number 7, number 8. So that is signs for their opponents and that pool. I think that pool is only going to be very tough. So that being said, if we walk through the scorecard, I think Abhishek Penmetsa, we all know how good a player he is, and on his day, he can just thrash any bowling attack. So he scored 89 runs from 51 balls, which includes 9 sixes and 4 fours. And that once you have somebody going like that on the batting side, the scoreboard just keeps ticking. So I think another good thing with GLCC batting unit was like all their top 4, top 5 batsmen were into the runs and put stitched partnerships together. I was just looking at the partnership. The first wicket partnership 85 runs, second wicket 55 runs, third wicket 37 runs, and again like, even down the order, the seventh wicket partnership 56 runs in 3 overs. I think that probably changed the entire complexion of the game when you scored that quickly in the end, bottom end, and then suddenly you have a hat trick in the last over to the opponent. So that was like it's a combination in that scorecard like, of good batting skill and then the opponents also coming back with something on their side with a hat trick in the end. So pick of the bowler Sandeep Guduru with 5 wickets. Uh, he went for a few runs, but then again, I think picking up 5 wickets in any format is a good achievement. So hopefully those figures will only get better going forward. So that being said, chasing 253 Air Phantoms, I think put in a good show, playing all the 25 overs, which is a big achievement in this league, playing out all the overs while chasing, especially. And I think they got to a decent start. They had players chipping in with runs, but I think they really couldn't keep up with the run rate. And obviously, a new team, a lot of learning for them. But I think overall, it's a good performance. Like Jagan also mentioned, I think uh, playing all the 25 overs and scoring 121 runs. If we come to the GLCC bowling unit, I think I would expect a little bit more on the bowling front because after scoring 253, and I think maybe we would expect a team like GLCC to pick up, bundle the opponent out, but they were not able to pick the 10 wickets. So I think that is something that they just need to look into. Nothing alarming, but I think once that thing settles down, I think GLCC is a team to watch out for. Definitely top 4 in this season. I would say GLCC.
Yeah, I expected Abhi to score 100. He missed out very good opportunity. I mean, see, he was, I don't know, luck was not on his side. He was taken, I mean, when
In the deep?
in the deep, I was told it's exactly similar one like semi-finals game against Indus Thunders in 2019. Okay, it was a fantastic game, a fantastic catch, scintillating catch is what Samish told me. Okay, so regardless, that's a fantastic batting by Abhi. I'll quickly go to our next game, MCC Miles versus Sterling Strikers. Abhi.
Yeah, this game again, MCC Miles won and elected to bat, and they got a pretty good start by Prithvi scoring 10 runs, but those are 10 quick runs, 10 of 9 balls with a strike rate of 100 is pretty good in DCL for the DCL standards. But again, on the other side, they lost Funny at the very beginning of the game. Again, after that, the MCC Miles batting never got going. There were too many ducks and too many single-digit scores. Probably is what they hurt them very bad. Again, their captain Rahul Jana, we know what kind of a quality player he is. Him going for a duck was probably something that again put the MCC Miles on the back foot. I will quickly come on to the Sterling Strikers score bowling card here again. Considering 8 wides or 8 extras, and of that, Imtiaz bowling 5 of them is probably what must have actually been a concerning factor for the Sterling Strikers and Ahan Ansari. But Raza Ali, the man, he's always been the guy who's there at the top of the wickets list. Even in 2019, I believe he was there at the top. And 5-wicket haul from him, another 5-wicket haul in the league already in the first game is an amazing effort from Raza Ali. Congratulations to him. and of the 5 overs, he bowled 4 of them were maidens. I mean, that's an amazing thing. That's an amazing start for him to bowl. It's a confidence booster for a player like Raza Ali, and also a captain like Ahan Ansari. It's a very good start and a quality bowling effort by the Sterling strikers. And Mcc Miles again, like they didn't have enough runs on the board. When Sterling strikers came on to bat, I think they were taken on a back foot. Mcc Miles did answer back with 2 or 3 quick wickets there. But Raza Ali again being there, scoring only 9 for 35, probably held back their innings, didn't give a wicket there. He knew that there was not much score on the board, so he can actually just stay there and take his time to settle down. That was what done by the Ali Abbas and Ali Akram, who again scored probably another 9 and 5, which is a decent score for you're actually chasing a pretty low target in the game. Again, Azaz comes in and scores 13 of 4 balls with 2 sixes. I think that's probably that's where the curtains closed down for the Mcc Miles there. With regard to the bowling of Mcc Miles, Rani started very well with 2 wickets, though he was slightly on the expensive side for the quality of bowler he does. Jeshwant, again an amazing bowler. I've played with Mcc Miles, I've played against him, and I've played with him. He's a pretty quick bowler and one of the bowlers to be watched out in the league, and giving 8 runs in 3, but going for none, getting no wickets. Rahul Shanna is again, if he doesn't score with the bat, he always comes back strong with the ball. He picked up 3 wickets, but again, they didn't have enough score on board. But overall, again, Mcc Miles conceding 14 wides, 14 extras when they just had 50 on board. 49 on board was not a great factor for them. Mcc Miles will, they can just go back, forget about this game, come back pretty strong in the next league and the next league game that they're going to play against. But an amazing start by the Sterling strikers in the league.
Hey Jagan, I just wanted to mention one more thing about this game, if it's okay.
Yeah.
So I was just going through the stats and I noticed something that Raza Ali's figures 5 overs, 5 wickets, 4 maidens, and 10 runs. So it looks like at one point he bowled 4 overs, 4 maidens, 5 wickets. So his stats read 4-4-0-5. So if he had just held on to that last over by not giving any runs, that would have been an amazing spell of bowling, and that would be unbeatable. So
memorable one. Yeah. So the next game of the night is Mica versus Punjab, MICA versus Punjab Warriors. KK. I was umpire for this one. I see Punjab Warriors were very energetic, and I thoroughly enjoyed their energy. With that, KK.
Putting aside that particular point, Jagan, I want to ask you a question, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Looking at the scorecard and the result, the margin of 150 runs, there are 2 things that I can think of. Either Punjab Warriors players are too good, or the Mica team played very bad.
I would consider Mica as very bad.
Okay. Because if we look at the scorecard in Punjab Warriors, their first wicket partnership was 94 out of 92 balls, and that's the slowest partnership of the innings. And they scored 64 runs in the last 5 overs. Their opener Aminder Paul Mahal, after he scored a 50, maybe is the batsman retired or Jagan?
Yeah, he's the one retired.
He's the one retired, right? Okay. And I think the first game scoring a 50, I think is a player to watch out for. And Manjinder Singh scoring those 34 runs in 13 balls and picking up the run rate very much and taking the score to 193 for 5. And any team with 193 for 5, it's a cakewalk for them to win the game. And Mica have not put on any fight there. They got bundled out in 14 overs, scored 43 runs. And I think all the players in the Punjab Warriors bowlers, they just split the wickets between them. And a great start for the DCL season, I would say. And all the best to Punjab Warriors for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. The next one and last game of the night is Canton 11 versus Gladiators. Imti.
Yeah, again, one of the games that I was closely watching this week. Gladiators again were expected to win this game. They ended up winning the game, but I think there is a lot that needs to be worked upon with the team again coming back after a break. So that's with every team, I would say. But the Gladiators being Gladiators, and we expect a lot from that team. So they won the toss, elected to bat, put on a score of 133. Again, thanks to Hardeep Singh and Ronak Yu. Hardeep scoring a 55 from 58, including 3 sixes and 1 4, and Ronak Patel also 28 runs, which has 3 sixes in the scorecard. So, if you take out these two batsmen from the scorecard, hello.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, sorry, no, I got some echo resound. Okay, so if you take out those two gentlemen score, then it would have been a paltry scorecard, to be honest. So Gladiators, I think, they got they had a escape here, I would say, thanks to again these two gentlemen putting up that score and bringing the score to 133. On the bowling side, I think it was a good bowling effort from Canton 11. Shivam, Junaid, and Hari amongst the wickets, and I have a special mention for Shivam. I know he's new to the league, and I had a chance to play against him, and he's a very good left-arm bowler, and I think definitely a player to watch out for this season. That being said, chasing 133, Canton 11 definitely had the firepower of the batting unit that could chase down the score, and I think they started off slow, to be honest. When you're chasing 133, I think at least one of your top three needs to score quickly and keep the scoreboard moving. That didn't happen, but in the middle order, I think Sadat and Kuldeep held the ship for a while. But then again, I think it was too much pressure of the scoreboard, and then they eventually wilted down. So they ended up putting 107 thanks to 20 extras from Gladiators. Again, the bowling from Gladiators not up to the mark. Again, like KK was mentioning earlier, like if you look at the over to over comparison, I think Canton 11 were on track until the first half of their chase. So they were 64 for 3 at the end of 11 overs. Again, definitely they could have regrouped and thought about it in a better way to continue the chase in the second half, to be honest. So, but then again, I think it was Suyo Gupta who changed the game for Gladiators with the ball this time, picking up 5 wickets in his 5 overs, and obviously bringing back the game into Gladiators' favor. So, all in all, a good opening game for both the teams. I would say Canton 11 can hold their head high because again it was not a scare, but again at least they got closer to the target and put some thoughts into the Gladiators lineup. So Canton 11 again definitely a good team to watch out for, and definitely will be having good games in the next rounds, I would say. So
okay, with that we have completed all the games. We are getting into a section where the prediction. This is where we get highest traffic to our show. Okay, the first game of the night is Pokhris versus Mcc Miles. Imti.
I would go with Pokhris for this one again, just for the fact that Mcc Miles, I think after the first game they are on the back foot, so they might need some time, and on the back foot, and Pokhris playing their first game this week will be on the hunt for their first win. So Pokhris for me.
Okay, Abhi, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute, Jagan. I feel it's going to be Pokhris, Mcc Miles, because they're on a back foot with their first game loss. Then Pokhris, they're a pretty strong team. I choose Pokhris over Mcc Miles.
Okay, KK, I know KK is a Pokhris fan, so
let's make it 3-0, Jagan. But I want to challenge my friends Sanjay and Rahul to prove me wrong.
Yeah. So it all depends on Sanjay Ilango. If he clicks, if his day, I mean, he can do wonders. Okay.
Yes. The next again, that's too much pressure for Sanjay, I would say, because it's not definitely a one-man show. I think they have a bunch of players that can change the game on any day. So that overburdening Sanjay should not be the case. So I think that should be something that
I totally agree with you. Yeah. Anytime, cricket is a team game, not one-man show. But sometimes, stars have to shine. That's what I say. Okay. The next game is Micah versus GLCC. Okay. I don't want to say anything. Imti.
Again, I'll try to put it again this way. If GLCC bats this game, I think we'll see a bigger score than 250 for sure. GLCC for me.
Abhi.
It's going to be GLCC, no doubts.
Kk.
3-0. GLCC.
Okay. Rising Stars versus MI Rangers. This is going to be an interesting game. Imti.
Yeah, definitely an interesting game. I think both these teams playing the first game this week. Again, equally matched teams, I would say. But then just a slight edge to MI Rangers, I would say. So MI Rangers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I played Rising Stars in against them in Spring Cup, and they were actually a good team, but I think they still have to find their rhythm. And MI Rangers is a quality team, so I believe MI Rangers might have the edge over the Rising Stars. It's going to be a close game, though.
Okay, KK.
Yeah, you know that I like the MI Rangers team, and just because for the fact that they keep things simple despite winning or losing, they always have that smile on the face. I like MI Rangers and the quality over the other team. I'm going to pick MI Rangers.
Okay, the next game is I see we can circle this game. Probably we may end up talking a lot about this game next week. Punjab Warriors versus Sterling Strikers. Imti.
Yeah, you actually stole my thunder there. I was hoping that this would be the showcase game of the week and the game to watch out for this week. Owing to the first week performance of both the teams, I think Punjab Warriors are a team to watch out for. Scoring 190 in their first game is not a small achievement, I would say. So again, Sterling Strikers having Raza Ali and co in their arsenal. Punjab Warriors going all blazing guns. So it will be an interesting game to watch out. If I have to pick one team, just for the sake of underdogs, I would go with Punjab Warriors, just to pick underdogs.
Avi.
I did pick Punjab Warriors last week, and I didn't know that they played so well. But I'll just stick to my guts of Punjab Warriors who might win this game.
KK.
I'm going to go with Sterling Strikers for this game.
Fantastic. Okay. Let's see what happens next week. Then the next game is say SSK versus Patriots. Imti.
Yeah, definitely Patriots on this one. Again, SSK has been around for a while, but I think they need a lot of improvement if they have to beat a team like Patriots. So Patriots for me.
Abhi.
Patriots hands down, because I spoke to Naresh, who's my good friend, on the next day where we played in a different leather ball game. He seems to be in a very good touch, and he's going to be the game changer again for Patriots.
Okay, KK.
I'll pick Patriots, but my prediction is probably this is a 4-1 point split between Patriots and SSK.
Okay, you're giving it to SSK. That's good. Okay.
No, I'm saying the 4-1 split between for the points, right? Probably SSK is going to steal that bonus point.
Oh, okay. Bonus is going to SSK. Okay, that's good. And the next game, I'm not asking Abhi, but this is, I'll give a number there. Indus Thunders versus Safaris, 2-0 Indus Thunders. Any objections there?
No objections.
No objections. Okay, let's get into our next game. Troy Hawks versus Raptors. Imti.
Again, this will be also an interesting game. I know Troy Hawks has been building a good team season over season and might give a good competition here for Raptors. But also I have had some experience playing alongside Raptors players in the practice sessions, and Raptors is looking really good this year. So I would go with Raptors.
Abhi.
It should be Raptors because we know that they're a pretty strong team, and Troy Hawks is an equally good team. But when they're actually facing Raptors might have the edge here.
KK.
It's going to be Raptors, but I want to mention that Troy Hawks has this one player called Kaushik. Look at his stats from 2019. Scored about 160 runs, picked up about 16 wickets. So probably 2 or 3 more players join Kaushik. Maybe they'll be able to give a good fight.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I think Raptors they have a matured side, is what I'm guessing. But let's see what happens. The next game, again, I'm circling this one, Thunderbolts versus UCA. Because last week, Thunderbolts, they chased just, 23. And UCA scored, close to 70, 80. So I'm expecting this game to be a close one. And Imti, your
Yeah,
prediction.
again, both new teams, so it would be. I'm expecting this to be a close game too. UC again, obviously playing against Patriots in the first round, might be a little demotivated, but again, on the other side, Thunderbolts playing against Safaris really didn't help their confidence. I would say they got the win, confidence yes, but again, play quality sides to get that higher confidence. I would go with UCA in this one, just because the fact that they have some seasoned players in their lineup. UCA for me.
Okay, Abhi.
I might pick UCA here because the fact that Thunderbolts just scored only 23 runs, so they didn't get tested in their batting. But UCA, though they're actually chasing a big score against the Patriots, they did still manage to score 70 odd runs. So I might think the UCA, will be still on a brighter side, on a stronger side, that they still had 70 runs on board. So I'll pick UCA.
I have a counter for you. This you and they proved it. Thunderbolts proved it. They have cleaned up the opposition for just 23, lowest score of probably that will become the season. Okay, so with that, I'll go to KK. KK, your thoughts?
I'll pick Thunderbolts for this game.
Thunderbolts. Okay. The next game is Hitmen versus Legends. I'm not asking KK. So it's between Imti and Abhi. Imti.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a repeat of the first week game. Obviously, Pool B, this will happen quite a few times with the teams. So again, I think definite good option for Legends to try out some combinations if they're comfortable, and I think Legends for me in this game.
Abhi.
This time I'll do support Hitman, guys. Go Rohit Sharma and team.
So you're predicting Hitman?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
he loves Rohit Sharma. So
yeah, that I know. That I know. But
yeah, it's about the tag for him. Nothing else. Okay.
I'm trying to boost some confidence into Hitman's team.
Okay. Then the next one is FCC Agni versus KRCC. Imti.
Yeah, this has to be KRCC definitely. Again, like we all know how strong KRCC is looking, and obviously on a given day, FCC Agni, like I said, they need to pull up their socks to put up some competition. But KRCC in this game for me.
Okay, Abhi.
I'll stick with what Imti said. It's going to be KRCC.
KK.
Let's make it 3-0, Jagan. KRCC.
Okay, Kings 11 versus Strikers. Another interesting game. Imti.
I think I'll go with Strikers. Again, like seasoned team, Kings 11. I think even though it's a new name, I think they have played together quite a while. So it will be a good game, but I think Strikers will end up winning this game.
Abhi.
I'll boost some confidence into Kings 11. Frankly, I don't know who might win this game. It could be a close game, but Strikers are a pretty strong team. But I'll do the opposite this time. Kings 11.
KK.
I'm going to pick Kings 11 for this game, just based on the young legs in their team.
Okay. See, this is the last game. It will get interesting to predict. Spartans versus Brownstone. Imti.
Well, definitely, just because of the first week results, we might think that Brownstone is down and out, but we all know how strong their team is, and once if they have their full unit, they'll definitely come back stronger. Just because of the experience factor, I'll give this game to Brownstone, and I'm sure they'll come back very strong this game. Brownstone for me.
Abhi.
I'll choose Spartans here because of the fact that if Brownstone might again not have their key players, and then they might be in trouble. Whereas Spartans, although they lost the game, right? Yeah, they lost the game against the KRCC, but they still had pretty decent score on the board. So Spartans for me.
KK.
I'm going to pick Brownstone for this game.
Brownstone. Okay. With that, we have completed our predictions for the next week. Before we close the show, I just would like to say one thing. Cricket is about, for most of us, cricket is about enjoying the moments. When we take a wicket or when we score a big 4 or 6er, we enjoy a lot. But going into the history, if you after this season, the only thing people will remember is milestones. So last week's milestone is the hat trick, and hat trick will be remembered forever. Okay, so that's what I felt. Okay, see, that too, this is the 25th year, and hat trick guarantees a award. Okay, so that's a great milestone to achieve. Whether you lose, you win, nobody remembers that one, but the hat trick will be remembered forever. Okay, and with that, I'll go for last words. I'll start with Imti.
Yeah, yes, again, I think what a wonderful week we had to start off the 25th year of DCL. We have seen most of the milestones, like you were talking. We have seen a hat trick, we have seen 4 half centuries, we have seen a score of 250, we have seen a lowest score of 23 runs. So looks like we have seen it all. Again, this is just the first week of the league of this season, and we can just expect more and more, and for all the cricket hungry fans, I would say. So again, that being said, I would wish all the teams that are playing this week good luck, and I see that the weather is in the higher 80s, so just be cognizant of the fact and be careful, hydrate yourself, and also maintain social distance wherever possible. All the best to all the teams, and thanks to our listeners.
Abhi.
Again, thank you again. Thank you guys for having me over the show, and good luck to all the teams that are playing in the upcoming games. Like it did mention about 2 important factors about the heat that I was actually also making a note of. Again, like I said, just keep yourself hydrated, and also please do maintain the social distancing and mask up if necessary. Good luck, teams.
KK.
Well, thank you to the listeners. Jagan has already sent the counts to me, and they're looking very encouraging. And I would also say we have the second week games coming up. Let's play cricket in the right spirits. Let's compete, and all the very best to all the teams.
Yeah, DCL started with a great dream, and I call it dream start. So, and let's hope we'll see a better ones next week, and we'll come back and entertain you guys. And until then, keep listening DCL Radio.